we could have easily done 2, 3 of these sessions and said, yo, we did health. You know what I mean? Because we really like it felt like about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, it really felt like we covered some important stuff, like more information than I've ever received in my life in regards to health and what kind of options are out there. And then we just kept piling it on. And we had workouts from 6-time boxing champ Fitz the Whip. We had yoga instruction, sitting in our chair yoga instructor. We had breathing meditations and affirmations. I mean, we spent this day addressing our physical, our spiritual, and our emotional situations in health. And so I just want to just thank everyone who's been rocking with us since 10 a.m. And thank those who are tuning in right now. This is the final segment of the day of Afya, as our brother, as our brother Hawkins was leading us. So for those who don't know, what this is, what the day of Afya is. It is a Swahili word meaning health. And we just came out of 7 days of Kwanzaa celebration. Every day in Kwanzaa has a different principle. Every one of those principles has a Swahili word, right? And name and title and purpose. And so what my organization, the Canadian Kwanzaa Association, which I serve as chairman, some of the things that we have done over the past few years has gotten the first Kwanzaa Week proclamation produced in the city of Toronto and the city of Brampton. And we have chapters growing across Canada to make sure that Kwanzaa is respected in schools, respected in city councils and business communities, and communities as a whole has access to the pieces of Kwanzaa that makes it so special and traditional. And so this year, we decided to kind of go a different route. Instead of just having participating in those 7 days, we said, what are we going to do after Kwanzaa? Right? I mean, what happens after Kwanzaa? Do they just shut the lights off and blow the candles out and call it a day? Or are we going to find ways to fuse these principles into our everyday lifestyle 365, Kwanzaa 365? And so we decided that we were going to choose this day as a day of health, because we don't hear health talked about too much in these Kwanzaa circles. And, it's very important that we are protecting ourselves against addictions and diabetes and mental illness and physical ailments. And what better day than basically like really the first day of the year, because yesterday was basically December 31st, right? It was like an extended December 31st, right? So, this is like the first full day of the new year, completely separated from 2021. And, this is the time for us to talk about health. And we spent this whole morning and whole afternoon and now evening talking about how we can repair ourselves from teas to herbal remedies. And it's just been inspiring. So, and for us to conclude today in a very somber note, in a very respective note, in response to this pandemic that we are all living through right now. So this is the international audience. We have people from Canada, we have people from US, and people pop in from all over. And we are all dealing with the same situation. Yeah, we are all suffering and with the same conditions, the same fears, the same options to protect ourselves. And there's a lot of questions. And I knew by the end of this evening, obviously COVID is a big deal, and there's a lot for us to talk about, especially when it comes to vaccinations in our community and how to heal ourselves. But we've heard great tips from people about how to protect yourself, how to strengthen your immune systems holistically and healthy. And all the information is in our previous video segments. But what I really felt heavy on my heart was to create a space for grieving, to create a space for, for transparency, and for us to create a circle of support around those who are actually going through it, and to dedicate the end of a day of Afya to those who we've lost. And Toronto, is still trying to come to grips with the loss of a dear sister whose name was called out in our morning, ancestral acknowledgement, the sister Tracy, who passed away through COVID. So does anyone have a Kanara with candles in their home right now? Just a question. Does anyone have one? All right. Well, if you do have a candle handy, I already have mine lit. And I'm just going to just kind of prep you for how we're going to close this event with candles. So if you do have a candle close by, if you can join us, I would like for the last image that we that I'm able to capture of this historical day is with us and our candles. So in this segment here of Day of Afya, our closing ceremonies, we have the great pleasure of welcoming to the call and to the conversation and to the movement my dear sister, Sister Marcia Mcwilson. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. You know, this sister just came off of a boat ride with the who's who of the entertainment world. She is called upon by the legends in entertainment when they want a professional voice, when they want a blessed soul in their presence. And I'm talking about her when her phone rings, it could be anybody. People, the most respected people in the industry, from Tom Joyner to Bobby Jones. And she serves here locally here in Niagara Falls in Western New York, faithfully to this community, right? I mean, she could be anywhere in the world. She could be on cruise ships. She could be in Vegas. She could be in the biggest houses of worship in the world, but she serves right here in Western New York. And and to have access to her like this, and to have her in this space right now, to be able to speak about her own personal story when it comes to COVID and how she used her gift and her talents and the gifts and talents of those around her, her talented family, her son particularly, and how she was able to use her kumba, her creativity, to express her sorrow and to help other people who are going through it. It is just absolutely an honor to have you here in this special segment. So thank you, Sister Marcia. You look like you're looking grand. You're looking grand, girl. I mean, the hair matching the platinum is the platinum. I mean, you're looking grand. I mean, I feel underdressed. All of a sudden, I feel underdressed. All of a sudden, I need to go find my Kente Claus tuxedo. I gotta go find my tuxedo, my Kente tuxedo right now. Thank you for adding such star power to this day. We've been honored to have so many incredible movers and shakers from around the world here, and here you are closing us out. It's a somber subject matter. It's a tough subject matter, and that's why I'm kind of making light as we get into it, because it's heavy. You hear about how COVID has ripped through communities, has crippled homes. But I mean, your family, your family, suffered great blows, tremendous blows, and you have had to carry that burden as being the one who is left to pick up the pieces.
Yes.
And still keep a smile on your face, and still, and still make other people's hair emergencies or whatever emergency important. And so you've been able to maintain your mental stability, and that's why we wake up, we say, thank you, God, for a sane mind, right? Because we walking on that brink every day, and He kept you, and I give thanks, and I just give thanks to God for keeping you. Could you tell us about how COVID impacted your family, sister?
First of all, I just want to act like I'm in church for a minute. First, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life.
Oh yeah,
that's the only reason why I'm able to withstand the blows that life has given me. Second of all, we bring honor to my brother DeWitt, who they call the mayor. He definitely is the mayor because he has a heart for the people. Third of all, we give honor to Stan the man, who has been such a blessing to my life. Meeting him, I was just listening to his story and his testimony. With he was saying that he just cold turkey. No, he just stood up and be a man, and he was responsible to live. That's all he did. He wanted to live, and he wanted to be a blessing to his family. So he stood up and became a man and decided, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm sure that we're talking to a lot of people out there. You just got to stand up and grow up and just say, hey, enough of the child's play. I need to become the best of the best. When God created Adam and Eve, he made them, he gave them dominion over the earth. And that include a tobacco leaf, and not letting a tobacco leaf have dominion over you to tell you when to calm down, and to tell you when to chill out, and to tell you this is how I'm going to make you feel better, a leaf. No, you're a man. You have a dominion over a leaf. So I commend you, Stand the Man, for standing up and becoming that man and taking back dominion over the earth. Wow. I just wanted to say that. DeWitt, my God, do I have a story? A story, a story, a story. Who I never thought I would be saying this story. When we first heard of COVID, I was able to watch TV and see. Actually, I saw a celebrity. One of my friends had on a mask, and I thought it was strange. Why is he wearing a mask? Boy, he looks crazy. Taking pictures with this mask on his face. He was overseas, and I didn't know what that was about. And then I heard them talking about this thing called SARS. And I'm like, wow, okay, that's way over there. And then when they started saying this thing called COVID is coming, and I noticed one of my customers, her brother, came down sick with it. And she said, listen, y'all, this thing is real. My brother is dead over this invisible force that has came in. And I'm like, okay, that had to deal with them. So I began to say, I don't know, this is kind of scary. So I went and got these red scarves, and I went and prayed and put the anointing oil on those red scarves. And I went and I anointed each of my family's doors and hung it across their door. So I was good. I'm like, hey, we good because we got the blood of Jesus across our doorposts. If you understand about the 10 Commandments, do you remember when I believe it was Joshua, he was painting the doorposts and putting the blood of Jesus on the doorposts, so when the death angel passed by, it wouldn't affect that household. So me being a woman of faith, which I have prayed for a lot of people with cancer, and God has healed them. I prayed for people that was nearly dead, and God brought them back from the dead. And so my faith is just strong, and I'm like, okay, we good. My family good. So I made sure I did all that and prayed and went about our day, not knowing that I would be making Christmas breakfast that we do every year. And I get a phone call stating my sister is laying on the floor and they're working on her because she just had a heart attack. And I'm going, whoa, a heart attack. So I rush over and I said, oh, she's going to be all right. I come over and I look on the floor, and they got her laid out on the floor, and they're beating her chest. They're beating her. The day before, I came over and I said, hey, sis, how you doing? And she was hoarse. She was like, I'm a little hoarse. I was like, sis, that sounds like you got COVID or something. I ain't got no COVID. Sis, sound like you got COVID. You need to check that out and don't wait till the last minute and you can't breathe and we can't get you to the hospital. I'm all right, Dr. Marcia. That's what she said. Honey, when I came in and saw them beating on her chest, and I'm standing there and I'm hearing the screams of my nieces screaming to the top of their lungs, saying, don't do this. Don't do this. I've already lost my mother, and you're my other mother. Please don't do this. And I look back at her and it's like, be quiet. She ain't doing nothing. She ain't going nowhere. I put the blood of Jesus over the door. She ain't going nowhere. All of a sudden, they lost her. And when they lost her, they didn't say anything. We just saw her eyes go into a state. And they just scooped her up real quick and took her out. And I just saw that look in her eyes. And They put her in the ambulance and took her. And the Lord just gave me this calmness that just came over me, said that she was gone. And I was like, you know what? I'm okay. I think I was in shock. And then they took her to the hospital, and then we heard we got her back. And I said, okay, I knew why I had this calmness. Come on, Jesus, work your stuff. I knew she ain't going nowhere. I know my sister ain't going nowhere. Honey, we went on a prayer visual. We prayed. We fasted 7 days, didn't sleep. And on New Year's Day, they called us and said that she was brain dead. Baby, that was our mentor. That was our matriarch. That was the one that you needed to call for anybody's birthday or anybody. That was our dressing queen. We couldn't have holidays without her dressing. She was the one that was like our mother. She's the one that rocked me to sleep at night. She was the one that introduced me into the life of cosmetology. She started all of us in business. And now you mean to tell me she's the preacher? She's the one that declares the scripture, and she's gone over an invisible force? Now we got some hard questions standing, man. I have prayed for hundreds of people, and I've seen God deliver them. And for my sister, who is an elder in the church that believes the word of God, to die, man, I'm messed up. And not only that, before she dies, my niece dies 2 months ahead, which was her daughter. And from there, my other cousin, she goes into hospital and dies of COVID. And then my other cousin died of COVID. And then my uncle died of COVID. And guess what? Since then, 6 people I've lost to COVID. And then as they tried to revive my sister, 7 of them caught COVID, including me, myself, my husband, and my children. So could you imagine what was going on in my mind? And my next, I had to go to in the hospital because I had high blood pressure, extreme high blood pressure. I'm on 5 blood pressure medicines. So I can't get no COVID because I got 5 high blood pressure medicine. I went into the hospital and my blood pressure was 210 over 110.
All the way
and I
up.
thought I was next.
All the way up.
Okay? So this thing right here took my family and was about to take me. And I am asking God, what's going on here? I done lost so many people in my family with this COVID stuff. God, you got to help me. It had messed up my faith, y'all. It messed up my faith. Okay, so I pray for all these other people, and then when they come to my own family who I really, really need it for, and nothing happens, you take them. So I begin to just ponder, and I pondered and I pondered, and I began to say, who would have thought this virus would come and tear my life apart? And I began to write this word, and God gave me a song in all of this. Go ahead, Cameron, play it.
Wow.
And I want you to listen to it. Listen. Could you hear a little bit of it?
Yes.
This song is dedicated to my sister, to all the people that died in Niagara Falls. Me and my son, Cameron. Who would have thought this virus would come, tear our lives apart. I never would have thought your name, Vanessa, would be among the million that sadly depart. If only I knew it would be the last time that I would have saw you. Rona May Blues, Rona May Blues, Rona May Blues. You got me singing Rona May Blues, Rona May Blues, Rona May Blues. You tore my life apart. That's just a little bit of it, y'all. I can't do it all.
But
So what I want to say is that song, I wrote that song not knowing that song was going to land me a movie. Here that came to my own front porch. And I was able to share with them the pain and the hurt that I went through for this COVID thing that I call the invisible man. Came and snatched my sister and my family away. Who would ever thought? I call it the invasion of the body snatchers. If you think about it, you're here today and you're gone tomorrow. People don't understand that this thing is real. People don't understand that because it didn't affect you, it didn't happen. Baby, you don't want this thing to come to your house. Because when it comes to your house will never be the same. I can't believe that my sister is gone. I can't believe that my cousins are gone. I can't believe that my family is gone in an instant just because they were just breathing. How is that illegal? Just to breathe. So I'm saying people still aren't vaccinated. They still have this thing. Oh, I don't know what's in it. You don't know what's in the liquor that you're drinking, but you're drinking. I don't know what's in it. You don't know what's in the food that you're eating, but you're eating. The thing is, if you believe God that he's going to keep you without that vaccination, use that same faith and believe God to take the vaccination and know that no deadly thing will hurt you. I know I'm talking good. And if you have not got vaccinated and you're listening on this line, listen to my pain. Listen to my pain. Trust me, it's worth it to go get vaccinated. Amen. It's vital. Your life depends on it.
Wow. Oh, sister, I knew it was gonna come in a time where we have to give you a hug after that. I knew the story, but every time I hear it, it obviously touches me in a different way. And so I know everyone on this call right now wants to offer their condolences. I see it pouring in on the chat. What a battle that you've gone through. You're battle torn, you're battle tested. And, it was that faith that was tested. And, yesterday was Imani, faith. And, as we bring all those principles of Kwanzaa back to our everyday life, we got to understand that faith is a fight, and it's going to get tested, and, what you've been able to do to still have a testimony and to still call God good, and to be able to, to be able to submit and trust, is the walk of saints.
Yes.
It's the walk of saints. And so you've been put through a fire that that's purified you, and has given you to a generation that needs those who have walked through the fire. They need those that sat in the den. Like even Stan the man said, I went into the den. So we need those that have sat in the den. We need those that have walked through the fire to tell us that there's, you can survive. And of course, We know that, it's a void in your life that you're going to carry. Um, and and here's the thing, this moment that as we commemorate this day of Afia, and we know that there's healing that you're still doing. There's a physical healing, of course, as you bounce back and deal with all kind of ailments, but there's an emotional, and so we had a sister on the call, and I was hoping for her to be around. But it's been a long day. She was there from the very beginning, but I definitely want you two to speak, because what we can't do is we can't suppress. As a community, we have suppressed our depression. We've suppressed our anxieties. We've suppressed all kind of physical ailments and pains, just to keep moving through the day. And somehow, just like our ancestors, there she is. She's coming right back. And just like our ancestors who have found a way to suppress having their back cut open through through the whip, and still found a way to get to work and wake up and go and work. I mean, we had to survive. So it is in our DNA to survive. It is in our DNA to not address those areas of concern. But and the sister's on the call right now, and so your timing is perfect, sis. I was just talking about you, Shareese, as Sister Marcia Mcwilson just took us through a timeline of a lot of despair. And she put out a massive message for people to protect themselves, to protect their families, in every way possible. So there's one way that's advertised through vaccines. There's other, you talked earlier, Shareese, about some ways to your immune systems. The point is, take arms. The point is, take it serious enough to know that you say, I'm going to make an effort to protect myself, and go out my way. So Sister Shareese, you came in right at the time. Sister Marcia represents so many people's households that are shaken and rattled right now because of COVID. And how do you help someone who's going through that kind of grief, Sister Shareese?
I try to let people know that death is a part of life, and with that comes a legacy. Always, please, just give me a second, okay? Always with that, honor your legacy, because that person is now your ancestor. Those conversations that you've had with them and that advice becomes so much more clear now. You can hear it like it was just said, but yesterday when they were here, I remember you said something about something. So in the moments that you shared, you two probably had two different perspectives. Be quiet, please. But when they're gone, everything again becomes so clear, and you now understand their perspective, and it didn't have to go that far. And this is not just with COVID, this is with any and everything. There's ways people grieve differently and mourn differently, but there's a healthy way to grieve, is to grow. Is to grow like a tree. A tree may shed leaves and may turn colors, and you have never, ever, no matter how much work, how much love or nurturing was put into that leaf, put into that flower, you've never seen a tree bow down or bend down and pick up a leaf, a branch, or anything. They grew through it all. Are you telling me that a tree feels no pain? That is their birth. That is their babies. That is what they gave life to. And if a tree can do it, you can. You can move with the punches. A tree can't. A tree has to weather every single storm with no movement. If you don't do nothing, do your best to be a tree. Grow. Learn from each and every death. Even if people be like, it was senseless, there was some sense there because you learned not to do what they did. Mm-hmm. There is always something that you can do or someone that you can learn from. And unfortunately, when we do lose people, everybody don't have the same beliefs as us. I'm a spiritual being. I believe life is like energy, and it is just put into something else. It never dies. I have trees in representation of my parents who passed away, my stepfather and my mother. I have trees in representation of my siblings. I encourage people to get sympathy animals. I encourage people to reach out to people who are educated and have the tools, the coping tools, because your best friend is not a therapist. Your cousin is going through the same thing you're going through. It's not worse. You know, they don't have the tools that therapists and counselors have. Reach out to your mental health experts. You know, everybody don't mesh well with somebody, but it's somebody you're watching. Come on now. We know that. Everybody, before I was in a mental health counselor and before I was the grief guru, I was watching somebody and I didn't even believe in it. So I know that people are watching. You're watching somebody. Reach out to that person. Even if you know somebody who's in mental health and you're not, ask them for a reference. You don't need a medical reference for a counselor. All you need is a phone number.
Mm-hmm.
And most of all, love on people while they're here. I
That's right.
am known for giving people their flowers while they are here.
That's right.
Honor them in the moment. Thank them, and pass on generational blessings. How we try to break generational curses. Whatever it is that you learned, I learned that from Miss Marcia. And this will be forever. I learned that from my mother, learned that from Miss Marcia. My grandmother said she learned that from this lady named Marcia she met. You see what I mean? Like,
That's right.
always put honor and legacy in everything that you do, especially the person that you love and honor. People are
That's right.
always want to just lay down and die or want to give up. That is not how I want to be remembered.
That's
If
right.
you give up, then who's going to honor my legacy? How will my name live? If you love
Yes.
me that much, love me with honor and integrity for not only you, but for generations to come. Because I want to be in the next Bible. I don't know about you, but I want to infect lives like a living disease. Okay. I want to just
Right.
infectious
Right.
love everybody to where I'm in the next book of life.
Yes.
So that's how I live, and that's what I encourage people to do. And if there's any type of ailment that you have towards somebody, get it out. You don't have to mess up their day. Write it on paper and burn it. And don't ever believe just because somebody is gone, you are healed from the trauma. Even if you guys were in a good place, a bad place, whatever. If you had something that happened, it's okay to say, I have mommy issues, and you no longer have a mother. Because how are you going to love her through it all? You're going to be in that same place, that fork in the road, but you're going to choose right because your mother chose left. Honor her with all that you do. Acknowledge people. That's how I feel, and that is what I preach, teach, and live
Amen.
by.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I know Sister Marcia here. She's actually, done that. Beginning of her song, you hear the names of her loved ones that have gone, and so she went right to work with that, and she made that a reality, and their names will always be
Yes.
remembered and echoed, and appreciated, and and like I said, this thing has hit home in so many places, and so what we want to do is we want to create a safe space so people can have these conversations. So we want to be able to identify experts like Sister Shareese and others who is part of a trusted circle, right? And say, all right, girl, I'm having a bad day today, and my brother, can you speak, can I talk about something? So that's what I want. I want us to stop suppressing. I want us to stop, covering up, and I want us to start, sharing. But obviously, you need to have right people, because that information in the wrong hands could hurt you further, right? So it's very important that there's a safe place to deposit that information. So, so Sister Marcia, where's that song now? How can people hear that song again?
It's right on YouTube, on all the media platforms, on iTunes, on Spotify, on YouTube, on MarciaMcWilson.com. It really, actually, the song has not taken off the way it should have, because all they have to do is just hear it. Once they hear it and pass it, it's gonna blow up. And I just needed to go viral. Stan the Man helped me out. He sent it to Reach Media, and it shot all over Spectrum. Even when they did a story on it, it just went straight all the way up in New York and kept going. But a lot of people thought that this thing was going to come and go. This thing ain't going nowhere, and it's gotten worse. And I need that song to go out and go viral, because that song, every person that hears the song it just it just goes straight through their heart. And I've heard people say, "Oh, I just cried. Oh my God, I just cried." It's because my sister died. She died for it, and others died, so you could hear. So change can be brought about with that, making people aware that this thing is for real. People still, I just sit up and look at the arrogance of them. It make me just want to pimp slap them. I was at a swearing in yesterday. They were swearing in the new legislator and the new councilman, and sitting next to, of course, he was a white brother, sitting there with his mask off, and he just sitting there, just looking around. Everybody else masked up, and he just looking around, just privileged, just proud to sit up without a mask. So, like, this is a hoax, and I'm just looking at him. And and I'm like, wow. And then the guy said, "Everyone, we're going to ask you to put your mask on, and we're going to ask you to leave." And I'm like, thank you. Since these people ain't taking this stuff serious, y'all, until they come and get their grandmama. When they get, as they I want to go back to The Color Purple. When they get your grandpappy and your grandmammy, then you'll put your doggone mask on. But it's not affecting them. And the thing is, like Stan was saying, our health, our Black people have just been so not good with their health that when this thing came, it just wiped everybody out, because they were already on the last leg with health. You understand? And so, like, oh, it's a common cold. Well, this common cold killed people. How about that? Oh, it ain't nothing. And I hear even Black people, it's just a common cold. Okay, I would take that common cold if it didn't kill my sister. Okay, but this common cold killed my sister and my cousins and my uncle. How about that? So my thing is, people are not taking this thing serious. Play that song. I bet you they hear that song. I bet you they'll take it serious then, because guess what? I'm shooting from the hip to your heart, honey. Bam! When you hear it, it's gonna knock you down, baby. It's because somebody died, literally, for that. I didn't pen that song, y'all. I wrote that song off the top of my head, and then I went and got my son. My son is singing on that song, and I said, "Babe, I just got these words, and I need you to get me some music." That boy got that music, and we put it on like a glove, man. In 15 minutes, I wrote that song in 15 minutes. And that's how that song was done. So any song that I've gotten, my last song, Balance, I wrote that on the mic. Anything God give me like that, he downloads that thing to me, and I can't even take the credit saying, "Oh, that's, my creative." Never wrote a song before. Never wrote a song before. Ballads, I never wrote a song. Rona Mae Blues, never wrote a song. Just got on the mic, sang it, bam, there it is. So I need y'all to get that song. Go to YouTube. Go to
the links already. I want to thank Suzette. The links have already been placed in our chat. So
good. And Stan the man, he can do it. He had his computer. He's a wizard.
Well, it's already there. So
I love you, Stan the man.
Stan puts but also Suzette put your website and your YouTube link in there, my love. She put her stuff in there. So it's in there. I'm just gonna read some chats here. It says, "I agree with the dangers of conspiracy theories. Economics is universal, but also independent. Independence is universal, but also self-reliant." There's a lot of fear mongering. There's a lot of information being thrown back and forth. But when you have someone here who's pouring their heart out, whose obviously family has been changed forever, it is something that we have to pay attention to. And you know what? You're crying for those who don't have a voice. And so what I wanted to do as we close today's session, I just wanted to, if anyone else has a lighter or has a candle, we're going to have a moment of silence. Sister Suzette, are you there? Because I know you brought up Tracy, who passed away in Toronto, and
I'm here, yes.
So we're just gonna I'd like you just say her name out as we ask for names because she definitely inspired this portion of Afia, excuse me, the day of Afia. It's important that we take a time to grieve, a time to love on one another, and a time to share resources to help those in the grieving process. And I think Sister Marcia Mcwilson, your song is medicine. I
Yes.
think Sister Shareese, your advice is stern, but it's important. It's important, right? It gets people focused on what's most important, and I think these are tools that we need to have available at the ready to help people get through whatever stage you're in. Because your song is one stage, and having a conversation with Shareese is another stage. And
That's right.
I don't know if her stage is day one after you lost your mama. I think she's like a day 38. I think
Yeah.
her advice is day 38 kind of advice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But when people are in this, when they in their mess, when
Yeah.
they in it, when they in that fight, when they in that fire, when they in that den, it's your music that's gonna anoint. So I want everyone to know, and to use this song, and use this song as a way to minister and to help soothe the pain, that our
Yes.
people are going through.
Yes, yes,
Brother
yep.
DeWitt, in the song is saying, okay, yeah, you tore our life apart, but let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to be, what did I say? Yeah, we're going to be stronger. We're going to be better. We're going to love harder. Because see, when by my sister, I'm seeing her on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day, she's dead. So what that makes me, um, I'm writing a new one. I'm writing a new one saying, how would you act and what would you say if you only had one day to live? Oh my God. And it makes me want to treat people better, because you can walk out the door and just breathe, and then that's it for you. And you done caught that virus and you gone. I have seen a family. I have seen a family that just did what we did. They lost, it was Bishop, I want to say Bishop Brinson. He just lost his life. His wife just lost her mother this week, within 2 weeks. Now we were hit within months. They were hit within weeks, and she
I know.
lost their mother. It was a mother and a husband and wife. I went to that funeral. I ain't never seen a double funeral here in the city of Niagara Falls, with a husband and a wife died of COVID. And then all of a sudden, the husband, um, Bertha's husband died, and then now her mother died within weeks. So when I say that song is healing, because it's going to say, okay, we went through this, but guess what? It's going to make us strong. It's going to make us love harder. It's going to make us be smarter, because we're going to know what to do. We're going to put our mask on, and we're going to, as they say, we're going to set our tail down somewhere, set out and stay home sometimes. A lot of stuff, D, I would love to go do a lot of singing and a lot of traveling. But D, now I'm mindful of, God, do you want me to do this, or do Marcia want to do this? So it's making me use more wisdom of what God has really called me to do. So this thing right here is really, really, really getting us all focused and getting us on point of what the real deal is. Even in this COVID,
Yep, yep,
trust me.
yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Go ahead.
Brother
Go ahead.
DeWitt and Marcia, if I could just quickly say, I want to thank Marcia for allowing us to, promote her song, and also to, really, spread the message through the use of billboards, here,
Yes.
here in West New York and Buffalo. And also, I want to encourage all of those of you who are in this space. I put in the chat box a link to our website, where so the information is on there that you can utilize, in Canada as well. And if we can assist you in terms of increasing awareness and education and action that protects our family, our friends, our loved ones, our community, with respect to this virus, and addressing other, health concerns, we're here to help and be a partner with you all. So thank you all so much.
Yes, Stan. Also link in our video of the actual of me actually being in the graveyard. Stan the Man and
Yep,
Reach
it's on there.
Media. Yes, we
Yep,
did
it's in
a
the chat box.
video. That's right. We did a video, and Stan the Man also had he was over me getting on that billboard in the city of Niagara Falls and in Buffalo. And people are driving down the street. Wait a minute, hold on. Is that Marcia standing in the graveyard? What is she doing? And then they read, you don't want to change places with me. You want to be vaccinated because this right here is not a nice park. I'm standing in a graveyard, people. I'm not in the park. And that right there was so profound. And I was so blessed. And also, Stan, I end up getting the front page of the Buffalo News. I've never, now out of all the singing I've done, I've never received the front page of the Buffalo News. And that right there was a bitter but sweet, because that's one thing, Brother DeWitt. It's hard as they say, it's hard out here for a pimp. What it is I'm a singer, but I'm a saved singer. And guess what? I ain't laying on my back to get where I need to go. What I'm doing is I'm doing it right. I'm keeping it right. And I haven't made it yet. People say, oh, she's been out here for a long time. Yeah, because I've been doing it right. And I ain't made it because I didn't lay down on my back, y'all. If you understand, a lot of people don't realize all these big singers, they didn't lay down, y'all. Trust me. I'm behind the scene. I ain't going. I'm not bowing. I'm doing it God's way. And so it's hard out here for somebody who's doing it right. So I need your help to go and send that girl's song out. Everybody know about, I wrote this song called Balance, and DeWitt swears by it. He knows that's his prayer.
That's my track.
Balance actually, was the first song that I wrote.
You're right. And actually, I still want to put together that men's choir to sing that, because we've only heard it from a woman's perspective. And right. I want to get my men together, and I want us to sing that Balance, because, life as a dad and it's everything else, man, and we don't talk about that. And so look, I had to pick, there are a lot of subject matters we could have covered. But I realized that, we're going to pick some areas that are critical and relevant right now. But, speaking to men every month, obviously we have it just like it's National Tea Month. Just like it's Tea Month, we're talking about, there's months for men and for us to deal with our mental health. So we'll get to that. But sisters, I want you to be the choir director for us, so that you can actually, lead us men choir during Men's Month. I don't know when that is, but I hope we got a month. I mean, if T got a month, men should have a month. I know that much. But nevertheless, we look forward to being able to use the gifts and the things that you've given this world, and to introduce it to other worlds and spaces. So if you can we're going to have a moment of silence before we close here. So I just asked Sister Suzette. It's hard for me to still say her name. This is a special tribute to our sister in Toronto who passed away suddenly. Survived by her husband and her two boys. And she's from our generation, right? Like, that's the one thing. COVID has no respect of generation. And she's from our crew, right? She's from our crew. She had plans and visions like all of us. Sure. and intentions and responsibilities. And so as we close, I made a commitment to make sure that death don't surprise me or my family. Right. Yeah. And this is a very tough conversation that we all got to have when it comes to life insurance, and these are more conversations that we're going to have later, but death is not going to surprise my family. No, they're not going to wonder who I want to carry my casket. Everyone knows that you're going to cover me in that red, black, and green. Everyone knows that much. But they don't know who's carrying that casket. And it's not going to be no surprise. What my vision is for my children. I have 5 children. What I want them to do. They won't have to figure it out. They won't have to meditate to hear from me for no other world. Okay. I'm going to write it down, make it plain. So that they can know what my expectations are for them and what God put in my heart for them. So, you know what, we're not going to be caught by surprise. We know that, you know, the enemy is a roaring lion looking who can devour and destroy and steal. And, you know, it's real, you know what, and it's an invisible lion. It's an invisible line. And so we got to arm ourselves. We got to arm ourselves physically, but we also got to prepare ourselves spiritually. And if we love the people around us, that, you know, that we prepare them for what's possible, because, you know, it is real. You know, I got cousins right now who's like, cousin, I think I got this thing, man. I spent 2 days of the worst days of my life.
That's right.
You know, and so being able to identify it, to be able to safely put yourself away from harming your loved ones, right? I mean, that's the number one thing, is being able to identify it and saying, wait a second, this feels like what I read about. Maybe I shouldn't go see my mama and go get her, you know, and go get her peach cobbler, right?
That's
like,
right.
It's about taking that kind of responsibility. And even if you want to be vaccinated or not vaccinated, but at least you're aware of yourself. You know what I mean? The same thing with sexually transmitted diseases. You want to be familiar with your situation for other people, right? Not just for yourself. So you need to know, hey, listen, did I catch something? Am I feeling some kind of way? And should I separate myself? Because you take this into your household, you take this to a birthday party, and now you got 3 aunties and 2 cousins, right? All
That's
because
right.
you didn't want to be obedient to what
you didn't want to be obedient. You're right. You're right.
So we got to break. So if we can save lives, just do that. Right? If you don't want to get vaccinated, but at least know that, hey, listen, if something's going on, that you know enough to stay off the bus, stay at home, and find out, right? So these are all things that are important for us to put out to our community. So I want to just have our moment of silence as we pray for the souls who've gone on in transition. You know, DJ Shay, DJ Shay, one of the greatest, producers of all time. He's the reason why Buffalo is where it is in the hip hop world right now, right? The reason why Buffalo is what it is right now is because of what DJ Shay sold into this community. And right when all his work started to pay off, okay, right when he started to, sip champagne with Jay-Z, okay. I mean, the man who worked the hardest and the longest, right when he began to benefit, to taste the rewards of his fruit, the labor of his the fruit of his labor, COVID took him away.
Jesus.
DJ Shay, right? My brother, though, this is my guy. I watched him, I worked with him for years and years, just as we're regular bill collectors. His family, everyone, they're all my beloved. And and to lose him was just an absolute shock. So for DJ Shay, DJ Shay is the inspiration behind Health and Hip Hop Week. So Health and Hip Hop Week is starts at October 10th, and it's always going to be in memory of DJ Shay. So this moment is for DJ Shay and Sister Suzette, are you there? Could you please Sister Tracy?
Yes, Sister Tracy, Acadia Thomas.
Yep, and for all your loved ones, Sister Marcia Mcwilson.
Yes, Vanessa.
Vanessa, let's hear their names, please.
Vanessa, Daryl, Uncle James, Tyler, Rose. Oh my gosh.
I know. And
Darlene.
Darlene,
Athea. It's just so many. All
right. So we're just going to take it to the throne in prayer and peace. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that wraps up an historical day today. I don't know, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I haven't did the math, but what is that? 7 hours. 7 hours. 7 hours straight. Day of Afya, day of health. What an amazing journey. We learned so much. I mean, for me to see, I want to just thank those who've been here from the beginning, who were here and accompanying us during this entire journey, and to our final presenters. And I don't know, Coletta Brown and On the Move, if you can just send me your information. Would love to keep you posted on what's going on. I don't know exactly how you found this information, but if you could please just let us know so that we can keep you posted on what's going on. All these Zooms will be available. All these videos will be available on our YouTube channel, and links will be posted on our social media. I want to thank all of our presenters, our moderators, our facilitators, and those who just sat here and our participants. You made this day incredible, and we look forward to building with you all in the future, right?
Thank you.
So please, everyone, be safe. Please, everyone, love each other. Love yourself.
Yes.
Love yourself.
Thank
Practice something. I hope you took something from what we spent today, from breathing, from positive affirmations, from discipline. Find something to make yourself better. And remember that your only competition is you making yourself a better you. That's it.
That's
Just
right.
making yourself a better you. That's your only competition out there. So trust God, and you know what, and just continue to practice the Kwanzaa principles and each and everything you do. All right, one love, everyone.
All right. Mwah.
Good night.
Love you guys. Thank
Love
you
you.
for having me.
Thank you so much. It was an honor.
Thank you, everyone.
All right,
Thank you,
peace.
everyone.
Appreciate
Bye.
you, DeWitt.
All right, man. Peace, man.
Thank you, D, for inviting me. You know
Thank
you
you,
got
sis.
me.
I know.
I'm a
One
call
love.
away.
One
Phone
love.
call
One
away.
love, everyone. One love.
All right. Take care.
All
Love
right.
you, D.
Love you too, sis. Bye. Later, everyone. All right. On the move. Send us a message. Let us know how to reach you. Coletta, appreciate you. Miss Colette, is it Colette Brown? Oh,
Yes, Colette
Simone.
Brown. Simone invited me. So
Thank you,
I'll
Sister
be,
Simone.
yes.
Thank
so
you
I'll
for
be
bringing a
both of them.
friend. That's a real friend. A friend brings a friend.
I know I've been here all day. I didn't expect it, but it's all
You've
good.
been here all day and been commenting and been, just really, it's been an honor to have you here. On the move, let us know how to reach you. We'd love to be able to communicate with you. You sound like you're a mover and shaker. You got your little logo, and you got your logo and everything popping. So I love that. We definitely, we're on the move. And we definitely want to build our alliance. Sister Simone just left, but we do have bi-weekly book club readings on behalf of the UNIA. So if you're looking and learn about the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey and what the UNIA is all about, you can reach out to us and learn more. We are on Instagram and Facebook as well, Toronto UNIA. So I bid you all peace and love. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Hi, babe.
That was amazing. DeWitt.
Yeah, what, babe?
That was amazing.
Something else, huh?
That was really great.
That was special.
Yeah, it was so great. So proud of you. All the information was wonderful.
It was. I mean, that was world-class information right there. I mean, that was like expert. That was like if Essence put together a health
It
conference.
was a show. It
That was like an Essence conference. That was
It was
like
like a six-part series.
That was like a BET. That was like a BET Virtual Health Summit.
It was a six-part series. It was a six-part series. It was a special. I think that's what the next move is for next year. Like Marcia's Mcwilson's story. Oh my God, I was crying.
Yeah, of course.
It was just so sad. Like, what?
Of course. Look, man, it's real for her. Hold on. Oh, it's real for her. It's really, really real for her. And it's sad, man. I mean, to have her on the call, to share that story, obviously, this was the perfect place for it. It's a perfect place for it. And it's sad, man. It's real. We need to prepare ourselves because we don't know. We catching buses, we going to supermarkets. We don't know. We don't know who we sit next to. we don't know. You know what I mean? Like we just don't know. And so one thing is we got to be ready. We got to be ready, and we have to be prepared.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about doing like a follow-up, like a magazine follow-up, where like the people that you had is just like a one-pager?
Well, I mean, it's all about our creativity. It's all about looking at, what's next. I think right now, right now, I am exhausted.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Holy smokes.
I'm exhausted. Like this thing, this is like a real 2 weeks of my life, and and that's what this is. This is the combination of 2 weeks of my life, and
It was really good. It was really.
oh, it was good.
It was so, and like the amount of people that came on, like who spoke in their industry, and it was great.
The balance was amazing.
Yeah.
The flow, the flow. I did a little bit of tweaking just because some things just kind of worked better. I think just like I made a couple adjustments. Unfortunately, some people had flexibility for it.
Right.
Look, we ended at 5:00. You know what I mean? Like I really ended at 5:00, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
the fact is that we started on time, we ended on time. The stuff that happened in the middle, we just, we kind of went with the flow.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was heavy, man. Like incredible, agents of change in the health space. You know what I mean?
Just different, just like, I love how, the people who are speaking about like the organic food and the and like the vitamins and the minerals and the natural and then the psychotherapist came on and was talking, in that sense as well. I was like, so it wasn't just one-sided. Like you had an actual professional, not to say that they're not professionals in their own space, but she spoke about, it's one thing to be treating the body, but also like, the mind and where are these things coming from. It was great.
It was, and I mean the layout, the flow is amazing. You know what I mean? From the workout, from the workout, it was good just to get up and like move your body a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like in a day where there was meditation, there was like some healing and conversation and inspiration, then getting up and drinking water, and like there's these different, like it was a whole day. It was a health retreat in your home. I mean, and it was international, right? Like it was people from all walks of life, and everyone just was really good at what they do. I mean, everyone is just really good at what they do, and that's the difference when you have a random conversation on chat or on Instagram or wherever. It's a random group of people, with random thoughts and random experiences. But when you have specialists combined with other specialists, you get this iron sharpening iron. You get this accountability, and people and people really stepped up their game, and they really brought it. And they did a great job of sharing and marketing and promoting.
Mm-hmm. Because even when I went to their Instagram, some of them had the things that you sent them, the single one.
Yeah, no. Well, that's why. But look, that's why I spent all day yesterday making them. It took me an entire day to make all of those little joints, and just for that purpose, just for someone to be like, all right, I'm just going to share this, and at the end of the day, this wasn't an ordinary health conversation. This is the day of Afya, and it was it was like it's the first time someone's ever said Ghani with something besides the 7 principles, and this is a path. This is a path that we're supposed to apply the 7 principles to, and You know, it's just different. It's a different approach. You know, and this is just a different approach.
Yeah, I like the insight that that you've added this on this day, and I think it should always be celebrated that way.
Well, I put down somewhere that January 2nd and September 2nd are the days. Yeah, and September 2nd because the end of August will be used to go back to these principles.
Right.
And as we celebrate our 7 Candle Awards, so that'll take us through those principles, and then boom, we'll have a day out for you on September 2nd. But you know, next year it'll be a Monday, right? So it's gonna be, so it might be like a straight evening block. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know, throughout the day, like while you're at work, it's like a workout. Like, you know, it's like maybe it's like a morning. Hey, babe, maybe it's like a morning meditation. Maybe it's an afternoon workout and an evening kind of, you know, an evening portion. Hi, princess.
Hi, Daddy.
I love you.
Me too.
I don't use any of those new punches you learned on your brother. Okay. So I'm gonna go to sleep now. I'm going to sleep now.
I didn't eat dinner, Mommy.
I know we're gonna eat something right now.
So I'm gonna go to sleep now because I mean, this was the longest event I've ever been responsible for this thing, and this thing could have been over. This thing could have been over at 1 o'clock. Like this thing would have been successful at 1 o'clock.
Coca Life World.
We could have did 10 to 1, and this thing would have still been like, wow, that was great.
The information all around, all the way through, was amazing.
I know, but I'm saying we could have called it a wrap at 1 p.m. Like
Hello Kitty is not supposed to be.
So much got shared, you know. So much got shared.
Wow. Great. All the information was great. Oh, and I said that when you end the call, the chat information will disappear.
Yeah, I copied and pasted. I haven't in the spreadsheet.
I did the same thing.
But yeah, I have it on a spreadsheet right now, or in a document.
No, but even okay, all right.
I copied and pasted.
Okay, good. Yeah, there's a lot of valuable information.
Yeah, for sure.
Doing amazing things. I was like, wow, everybody's so inspiring.
Yeah, it's true.
Everybody's so inspiring. Everyone on their own journey. It's amazing.
Yeah, man. People are really on stuff, man. You know, people really on their stuff, man. And, you know, I didn't know what 5 o'clock was gonna feel like. I didn't know what 5 o'clock was gonna feel like. I knew it was gonna be like
Always in here.
Like 3 o'clock came, 3:30. I was like, yo, this is exhausting.
I was wondering. I was like, I wonder if he's eating anything because I know
I breaks. I took breaks. I went and ate. I ate a couple times. What a long day, but
it was fantastic.
Yeah, I know. So now I gotta figure out what to do with these videos, and you know, how do I thank her? Now I got do the thank you.
Yeah.
Brother Kofi, hold on.
Where's Leon?
Peace, brother.
No, Leon's not here. Yeah.
Hey, Chief.
Bobby, come.
Peace, family.
Peace.
I was just checking in to see if you guys are still on. I guess you did complete the journey.
Yo, I did. I've crossed the finish line, brother. Me and my queen, we just sitting here. I'm just like, yeah.
You just taking it in.
Yeah, I'm just taking it in, bro. Like everyone else is gone. I'm like, yo, we're just here, like talking. So, like, what's the sense? I'm gonna call you, and it might as well just keep talking on this thing.
Straight up.
But yeah, bro, we finished about 5:15, 5:20.
Okay.
Finished on a strong note. You know, it's the sister who came in to talk about COVID, her experience. You know, she's a Hall of Famer. She in the Niagara Falls Hall of Fame, Music Hall of Fame, and her family got it horrible. COVID, and she shared her story, and then she shared some of her song, and we just talked about the kind of responsibility we need to take for each other when it comes to COVID, and catching on the symptoms, and making sure that we don't walk around feeling bad and making it worse.
That's right.
the vaccination part, that's too big for me to get into. I already knew I wasn't going to even touch that. Right. I'm not even going to touch that. But, but you can still take some responsibility, for the people in your circle,
Absolutely.
And also, we shouldn't be caught off guard by death. Like, death is every time we turn on the news, it's there. It's no surprise. Right? And right now it's it's closer and closer, and it's coming in pairs and triples. And at this point, everyone needs to have that serious conversation with their loved ones, so there are no surprises. Hey, Queen.
That's right.
Yep, no, the Queen showed. Look, I see the Queen showed back up. We're just in our wrap up. We just get on the call.
And Brother DeWitt, you're still recording, right?
No. Oh yeah. You're right. Let me stop that.
To prevent your